सो एक बहुत ही डेडली एपिडेमिक कहाँ पे आया है, वेस्ट अफ्रीका में। तो बहुत सारे लोग मर गए हैं, बहुत सारे लोग इन्फेक्ट हैं, कोई भी वैक्सीन ट्रीटमेंट अवेलेबल नहीं है। तो आप एक हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट के हेड हो, ठीक है, जो एपिडेमिक से बहुत ज़्यादा सफर्ड है, लेकिन कोई भी ट्रीटमेंट नहीं है करेंटली। एक एक्सपेरिमेंटल ड्रग है, वो किसी और दूसरी कंट्री में यूज़ किया जा रहा है, आपकी कंट्री में दूसरी कंट्री में यूज़ किया जा रहा है, ड्रग के पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट हैं। कंसिक्वेंटली क्या हुआ है कि कुछ पेशेंट भी रिकवर हुए हैं फ्रॉम द डिसीज़। हाउएवर अभी तक क्लियर नहीं है कि जो रिलीफ है वो ड्रग से आया है या किसी और तरीके से आया है। गिवन द हाई मोर्टालिटी रेट बहुत ज़्यादा से इबोला के केस में था, तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा रैपिड स्प्रेड हो रहा है अदर कंट्रीज़, ठीक है। उन्होंने बोला कि ठीक है आप मास प्रोडक्शन करो एक्सपेरिमेंटल ड्रग का, लेकिन हेल्थ एक्सपर्ट क्या कर रहे हैं, स्कैप्टिकल हैं कि एफिकेसी है कि नहीं है ड्रग की, एंड उन्होंने बोला कि ये यूज़ मत करो, ठीक है। ऐसे क्या होगा, डेडली साइड इफेक्ट्स आ सकते हैं। ब्रिंग आउट एंड डिस्कस द आर्टिकल इशू इन्वॉल्व इन द above केस एंड व्हाट डू यू डू इन द above सिचुएशन, गिव योर रीज़न। फॉर एग्जाम्पल हाइड्रोक्लोरोक्वीन के लिए था। So here is a question that would you give go ahead to an experimental drug to be used on human beings without establishing its efficacy and side effects. So I will not allow the mass production of the drug without ethical trials, because that's it is unknowledgeable, without knowledge using the drug may lead to the another health crisis. Therefore I will wait for its efficacy to be established, and in the meantime I will keep all the provision for the mass production ready in case if there is no harmful side effect of this drug. So after trials, if the drug is found to be effective, then there will be immediate start of the mass production of the drug. In the meantime, all the preventive measures will be taken to prevent the spread of the disease. So cooperation between countries can be established for the experiment of the drugs on a wider scale. So ethical issue is the leadership and ability to uphold the public trust in the time of crisis. So aptitude to make swift administrative decisions. So aptitude to make swift administrative decisions. So aptitude to make swift administrative decisions and objectivity in response. Since there is an epidemic, it is required for the administration to work more swiftly and transparently. So there is an apprehension about the safety and there might be side effects of the drug, as health experts are saying, so it may lead to another health crisis. There is a incomplete evidence of the efficacy of the drug. So as per the medical ethics, patient dying due to the absence of the treatment is grief. So as per medical ethics, the patient dying due to absence of treatment is grief, but patient dying due to administration of treatment is crime. Due to absence of treatment is grief, but patient dying due to administration of treatment is a crime. So as per medical ethics, patient dying due to the absence of the treatment is grief, but patient dying due to the administration of treatment is crime. So I will not allow the use of the drug till the credible data about the efficacy of the drug is established. And if it lead to the deadly side effect on the population, it will erode the public trust. If administration of drug will lead to the deadly side effect, will lead to the erosion of the public trust and impede their future course of action. अभी तुमने क्या कर लिया, public trust erode कर दिया, तो it will impede, क्या impede करेगा, their future course of action, future COA, future course of action. Future course of action में क्या, if they have to administer any mass drug in future, if they were to mass administer any drug subsequently, it will impact their future course of action if they were to administer any other drug in future. If there is any problem with the drug, it will lead to the erosion of the public trust and will impede the future course of action. So it will impede the future course of action. So people will not use another drug if they were to mass administer any drug subsequently. I will also ensure that the healthcare system is responsive to the need of the people. Healthcare system is responsive to the needs of people. NOP. So I will use the know-how of international agencies like WHO. I will lead to the complete dispensation of the information to the public and will build the confidence about the healthcare mechanism of the country. So I'll order the drug for the mass production, but I will not approve it until the efficacy of the drug is established. I know there will be wastage of resources, but this is the best possible option available at this particular moment. So extraordinary circumstances need extraordinary. So extraordinary circumstances. So extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary action. Extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary actions. So our case study represent the classical example of ethical dilemma. One phase. This also tests my leadership ability under adverse circumstances. It's a test of the my leadership and in the face of adverse circumstances. Any hurry decision will have a long-term impact on the population, and also it will be at loggerhead with my professional ethics. A case-to-case basis analysis. For example, person who is at a very high risk of infection, they can be given the drug with their they will be informed about the risk involved. A case-by-case analysis, not the once-fit-all approach is needed for the precarious situation like this. So basic ethical issue is intention to act versus evidence to back action. Intention to act versus evidence to back action. Intention to act means your public trust is upheld, but evidence to back your action is insufficient. So ethical issues, will to act versus if not supported by objective analysis of circumstances. Will to act versus optical analysis of circumstances. Objective analysis of circumstances, not optical, objective analysis of circumstances. So the leadership quality is tested when there is a will to act but not the sufficient evidence for your action. So whenever you have to take any decision, economic, political, then there are unforeseen circumstances in future. In politics, economics, you have limited amount of information available to you and have to inform with the lack of evidence, with the incomplete evidence. So you cannot predict the future. You cannot see the consequences of your action. So you'll have to take the action with the incomplete evidence. But when it comes to the healthcare, it deals with the lives of the people. Leadership is entering into uncertain territories, but with the preparation. That is wandering into the uncertain territory, but with proper preparation. तो कहीं भी लगा सकते हैं इंटेंशन टू एक्ट वर्सेस एविडेंस टू बैक योर एक्शन. फॉर एग्जांपल टीम मोनेटाइजेशन, इंटेंशन अच्छा था ब्लैक मनी, बट एविडेंस क्या था ब्लैक मनी जाएगी कि नहीं जाएगी, तो वो ज़्यादा अच्छा नहीं था इसमें. तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट, इफ यू अलाउ द ड्रग इट विल लीड टू द इरोजन ऑफ द पब्लिक ट्रस्ट and people will be unwilling to use the future medicine. So if in future better vaccine or medicine come, people will be reluctant to consume. So will you administer this drug? No. Unforeseen circumstances, erosion of the public trust. Even in future better medicine came into market. तो यहाँ पे आपको मेरिट देने हैं, why you did not administer, and इसके demerit क्या होंगे. So demerit क्या है, many people whose life might have been saved will going to die. So this is a cost in the terms of lives lost. So person who is affected by the disease and there is no option available for him and for his family, this drug can be the lifesaver. So here is the case of losing one's life versus side effects of the medicine. If a person's family and the person is willing to go with and knowing the side effects of the medicine, that person should administer this disease. Case to case basis, one size fit all approach in serious situation like this, in precarious situation like this. Precarious means dangerous situation. Precarious situation like this. Precarious. So this argument is a lose of life versus some hope to save the life. So if the efficacy of the drug is established at the later date, it will be impossible to bring back those people who have lost their lives. So drug can be administered to control group where there is a situation of life versus death versus hope. The people who are definitely going to die, who have nothing to lose, they can be administered this with this drug. If this is a last hope for these people, last hope of survival for these people, the drug can be administered to this. But it should be done with the consent and revealing all the possible information about the drug to the family of the person. Other people who are not at the serious risk, we should communicate about the progress of the trials. Take possible measures so that others do not get the disease. So you have to administer the medicine to the control group, revealing all the possible side effects that can come in future. So by doing so, I would have demonstrated exemplary leadership. Exemplary means serving as a model. Very good. Exemplary, serving as a model. So I will not take the decision only under the. I have shown exemplary leadership of not taking decision under the influence of only good intention. And my good action must be backed by evidence. So I have to incorporate both in my decision making, intention as well as evidence. So I have to incorporate both intention as well as evidence, and it become even more important in the case of health, because according to medical ethics, death of the person due to the absence of disease is grief, but death due to the administration of disease is crime. So following this course of action, I have upholded the objectivity as well as the empathy towards the people.